Hi, everyone. Today we have here Alakashu, who is going to be talking about his experiences in the field of cybersecurity and his previous jobs or whatever he really wants to share with us today, while doing a puzzle as well. And this way it keeps us a bit distracted and we can just have a normal conversation and chat.
Yes.
So, do you want to tell us your name, your title, where you're from?
Yeah, definitely. So my name is Alakashu. Shall I look here, there?
You can look in. There's that camera is focused on you and that one, but you can look in that one if you want, or you can just look at me. Actually,
All right.
yeah, we're having a conversation.
My name is Alakashu. I work at MasterCard. Obviously, before MasterCard, I was working with you in Deloitte, Belgium. I work in incident response and digital forensics. That is part of my job. It's been a year and a couple of months, and I really like it over there. It's a lot of challenges. It is everything that I expected after Deloitte. So I'm really happy to be able to work in this environment.
Okay, so what does your day-to-day life look like? What do you have to do exactly as part of monitoring?
Okay, so my title is a security monitoring, senior security monitoring and incident response analyst. As per the role, we have to be able to get escalations from the security operations center, tier 1, because we act like more tier 2 to 3. And then we have these escalations or these incidents coming up from the team, and we have to forensicate them and work on them to be able to contain them and know what happened. And if there's any damage and impact, we have to contain everything on that sort. Of course, also we have to communicate to a lot of stakeholders. And with that, we are able to figure out the thing from 0 to hero. Is that okay? Can I say that?
Yeah.
So that is partially our job. It entails a lot of communications, which I've never done before, to be honest, in previous roles.
Communications with other clients?
Internal stakeholders.
Oh, internal. Okay.
So yeah, we have so many stakeholders and units involved when a cybersecurity incident happens. And so we have to deal with all sorts of persons and internal folks to be able to ask questions and figure out answers and contain incidents and remediate stuff. So it's a lot of responsibilities, but it's really enjoyable. And I really advise everyone to be able to go to that route if you prefer to switch from offensive security to the blue team side.
Okay, so you're basically more on the blue team side, but what would you recommend for people who are in the offensive side, or even people who are not in that at all? How would they start getting into this line of work?
Yeah. Now, this is a tricky question because there's no default route to go from whatever you are to whatever you want to be. You might change during your career path. So for me, I went all the way from a regular security analyst, so like the whole security domain kind of operations, towards offensive security, and then after that I was content. So I switched to the blue side. And
so you felt like you had seen enough in the offensive world?
Exactly.
Okay. Because you were in there for how long?
In the offensive security?
Yeah.
It's been, I guess, if I take 1 year from my previous role and Deloitte, I would say like 3 to 4 years.
3 to 4 years. Okay. And so during those 3 to 4 years, you did a lot of security tests, so penetration testing and...
And I really have to thank Deloitte because I was exposed to a lot of domains, including web application testing, mobile testing, and the network side was really intense. So I like most of my knowledge came from that, from the clients I worked with in Deloitte. I matured enough to be able to switch completely to the blue side and be able to see how things move and how to detect intricate, advanced malwares or campaigns or stuff like that. So.
Okay, but did you have any projects at Deloitte that led you in that direction, or how did you gain experience to be able to do stuff like that?
Yeah, so it all boils down to two things. So the first one is to have the passion to do it. So you have to really dedicate some time after your work, or like on the weekends or some other time. So you have to dedicate them to yourself, to learn, to enhance your skills. It could be setting up a virtual machine and try to spam it with all kinds of malware and then see what happens on the backside.
So setting up your own lab?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really easy. It's cost you nothing sometimes. So yeah, that is the first part where you can actually enhance yourself on the domain, but also it also goes down to your experience, so the projects you have worked on, and that gives you a lot of things that you haven't seen before, and you will not be able to see it if you're not really engaging in these domains and clients. So yeah, these two things combined will give you the necessity to be able to move forward to the blue team blue team.
Okay. So do you have any quick resources that we could suggest to viewers that could be potentially interested? Like, would Hack the Box or Try Hack Me sort of websites help people get into that?
It's a challenging question, but I used to do a lot of Hack the Box and Try Hack Me, and these kind of platforms really help you on thinking outside the box. So, because most of the time you will not really, I mean, now they improved it, but previously it's not like something you will see out in the open or in companies, like these kind of boxes and how they work, what kind of processes are running on them to be able to exploit them. So they weren't very realistic. But now if you go to them and subscribe to them, you see that they are more focusing on what is happening in real domains and real companies. So I think, yeah, that is one way to go to enhance your offensive security. You can learn the tools, know how how operating systems work, like Windows and Unix. So yeah, that is really a big advantage to use them. But also one of the advantages that I would recommend is to always have your own sandbox, your virtual machines. Read a lot of articles from passionate people in the domain. Go on Twitter or X and see what other people are doing. Try to mimic them. Try to take some ideas from them. Make it your own.
Inspiration.
Yeah, not copy.
Yeah, of course.
And move slowly towards what you believe that will be your ambition or your career path. Because at the end of the journey, you will learn and you will know what you like and what you don't like, and from there you will evolve. Mm-hmm. It's just like what happened to me, because I was always focusing on offensive security, but then I opened my mind a little bit, and then I happened to stumble on the defensive side, which is security operations and incident response. So
do you want to start doing the puzzle?
I think we should start.
Yeah, we have 1,000 pieces to do, so
just put it there again.
Sorry? Yeah, and we have snacks too. I don't know if I told you about this. These are the dark chocolate pretzels from Trader Joe's.
Oh, really?
I don't know if you've ever had them, but the team goes crazy for them. Like, I bring a bag in and it's gone within the day. Okay, so here is us finishing up with the intro and going more into I can show that, the puzzle, 1,000 piece puzzle that we are going to attempt to solve.
Good luck.
Within the next 30 minutes.
Just know that I suck at puzzles, so...
Okay, well, I never do puzzles either, so... I'm curious to know how you got in that field. So what's your background? Like, where are you from? What did you study? And, like, what drew you to the studies of cybersecurity?
Okay. It's a deep question, Paula.
Yeah, I know.
So...
But just take it as you want, like... Answer whatever you feel comfortable with.
Yeah. So you know that I'm not sure if I already told you, but I studied in university telecommunication.
Okay.
So computer science and networks and telecom. So there was nothing related to cybersecurity in it. But during or before the studies, I always, looked at people in general and, also on the social media, and you see all these people claiming to be able to get flight tickets for free, to be able to get stuff out of the internet. Some of them also claim to be able to breach Wi-Fi networks of neighbors. I was always like, how the hell do they do that? You know,
Mm-mm.
I was always curious, and it is really tough because I'm talking about like 15 years ago. Like there was no resource of the internet, like how to, you know, hack Wi-Fi or how to intercept traffic or whatnot. So I always had this in the back of my head while doing my studies. And then at some point, I think, so we didn't have Wi-Fi at home.
You didn't have Wi-Fi at
I
home?
did not have Wi-Fi at home, and that was in Kuwait. Well, I was moving between Kuwait and Lebanon. And at some point, there was no internet. So what I had to do...
Wait, what year was this, if you don't mind saying?
Yeah, I think it
'Cause
was...
people could guess your age. So I don't know if you're like, if you don't care.
It's public information.
Yeah, yes.
It was around 2009, 2010, something like that.
Okay. Oh, okay. So there was no internet in your region.
Well, my father didn't subscribe to the internet, at least.
Yeah. Okay.
There was no Wi-Fi.
No Wi-Fi in your home.
No. But then there were other Wi-Fis in the network.
Oh, okay.
Neighborhood.
I see.
Then I don't know, like what I was doing. I was hanging out with friends in the neighborhood, and there's this one guy who claimed to be able to breach their neighbor's Wi-Fi.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, no, it cannot be. This is magic. I mean, if he can do it, like, why wouldn't I be able to do it?
Right.
And then, so I always carried this within my head, like, okay, this is something that I might want to study, might want to see how they do it. But then I forgot about it until I was at university.
Did you manage to breach your neighbor's Wi-Fi?
I didn't look into it. I didn't pursue it. Let's start with the edges, maybe.
Yeah.
And so 2 years later, I think, I was at university in Egypt, by the way.
You went to university in Egypt?
Yes, I did. I had a scholarship of some sort, so I was able to go there. And then I stumbled upon an article explaining how someone could actually intercept the wireless key of a certain Wi-Fi network. And it was at the time using WPS.
Oh.
So how to be able to break WPS.
Yeah. The old one.
Yeah, with a pin code thingy.
Yeah.
The way it, like on the higher level, the way it worked is that you will be able to send a handshake to the wireless router.
Mm-hmm.
And then from that, you'll be able to intercept the connection. Then from there, you'll be able to brute force the WPS pin key.
Okay.
And then the key, I think, consisted of around 4 digits. So this was...
Oh, brute forceable.
Yeah, so it was really brute forceable.
Okay.
But at the time, I didn't understand any of this shit. So,
so that was just an article you stumbled upon.
Yeah, exactly. But then it was talking about, like, you have to install an operating system called Kali, and then you have to install some tools. So I did that. I learned all of that. And once I tried it, and it actually worked, I was amazed.
Yeah, you were hooked.
I was like, okay, if this thing is true, if I can do it, I can do more, you know?
Yeah, nice. So then after that, what happened then? Because if you
then, as everybody else, you don't find a job, you continue your master's with the same domain. So master's in telecommunications. Then while I was doing the master's, during the middle of it, I happened to, I kept on studying Wi-Fi, and then I moved to web applications. Like I tried to learn SQL injection and like cross-site scripting and all that stuff on a higher level.
Yeah.
But then I stumbled upon a job description on LinkedIn with a local bank. They wanted a cybersecurity analyst, and I didn't know what that is. All I saw is cybersecurity, and I was hooked.
You were like, "That's for me."
Yeah, I mean, I have the education, I have the degree. They didn't need experience, so I was like, "Okay, let's do it." And I applied. And then after 1 week, I got a call.
Oh wow! You must have been so happy.
I was really. I was stressed because I didn't know a lot about this domain. All I know is how to hack networks, Wi-Fi networks, and like basic stuff about web applications. But otherwise, nothing really interesting to know. But yeah, I got the job, and this is how I started in cybersecurity.
Okay, so kind of just like changed a bit your orientation from telecommunication, found some interesting articles,
Yes.
self-taught, and then found a job that didn't really require much experience.
And not really.
Yeah, I feel like that seems to be the career path for a lot of people in cybersecurity, because hacking or penetration testing is, at least up until not long ago, it wasn't really something that you could go to school for. It was a lot of hobbyists and people who did a lot of self-learning. But
You're right.
there is now a lot of schools that will help you specialize in that. But at the time, I guess it wasn't really a thing. Most hackers or security professionals were self-taught.
Yeah, exactly. I remember there wasn't any kind of cybersecurity courses in either Lebanon or Egypt back at the time. There's only computer science, computer engineering, electrical, telecom stuff. Like they teach you, like the coding languages, Python, whatnot, but like not really the, how you can break a network, how you can intercept things. Mm-hmm. So, you feel like you make an achievement just because you are interested in a topic.
Yeah.
Then once you pursue it, there's endless possibilities for you.
Exactly. I think that being interested in any type of topic in a way that it's more of a passion than a job will just make you so much better at it, because you're going to be thinking about it all the time. You're going to be want to be learning more about cybersecurity or hacking techniques and whatnot. And I think at the time there might not have been as much resources as there are today.
Yep. Yeah, you're right.
Like, I don't think there was Portswigger. I don't think there was Hack the Box. So most of the stuff that you had to learn, you just had to stumble upon interesting blog posts or be on IRC, like some online chats with other hackers.
No, I didn't do that.
You didn't do that?
I did not do that.
So wait, how would you stumble upon interesting articles then? Because at the time, the web was definitely not as easy to search.
I mean, I remember the first tools I worked on was obviously Kali, but also there was Beef. I don't know if you know Beef.
It's
all about
to hook
cross-site scripting.
Yeah, hook browsers.
Exactly. Yeah, I was really into that because I thought that's how you get into someone's system. But then I learned that this is not the way.
What do you mean this is not the way?
Because Beef works on mostly the browser side.
Yeah.
So whatever the browser can do, Beef can have some control over that, but not like completely the operating system.
Yeah. Okay.
And so there was limitations.
Oh.
Then I thought this is it. This is the maximum access you can have on a system back in the day. The other tool that I was really into is Metasploit, because it was a big thing to me. Like
Metasploit,
yeah, Metasploit. It was like the go-to C2 framework. Mm-hmm. Whenever there's an exploit, you would just search over Metasploit and see if it has it in their database. Honestly, like I used to have 2 computers. I used to test on one of them because it was pretty old. It was vulnerable. I used to test what kind of exploit would work if I ran Metasploit and had that as a target. So this is how you learn if you don't have access to a lot of resources. And
yeah, you test on your own environment.
Indeed.
How do you compare your work in penetration testing versus the blue team that you're doing now? Is there anything that you prefer in one of the fields? Do you think one is easier than the other or more suited for you?
Okay, that's a good question. As I said, there's no fixed way to move between these two, because a lot of people have preferences to continue in the offensive side, and a lot of people say, no, I want to keep on being the defender of the company. For me, from my perspective, or like my personal experience, I find it more interesting to shift on the blue side, at least for the time being, because there's so much opportunity and there's so much to learn. Because if you're doing a pen test, or like you're doing a web application attack or a scan, you only know so little about how things work on the back end. You only know how to attack, how to crack the system, but like you don't know what is being generated on the backside of the application. And potentially you also don't know how to remediate that if you're not really into this.
True. So you wouldn't be able to give any good recommendations to your clients then?
Yes, well, I mean, you can still, but like
High-level recommendations.
really a high level, not the full details that they might want to convey to their development team.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're really working on the blue side, you will know, I mean, if you're also coming from an offensive security side, you will know how attackers are doing this, but also what is being generated on the other side so that you can make correlations. Like, okay, this payload is generating this log on the system. So I might be able to detect it if something happens in the near future. So I might be able to, make a rule or custom rule to be able to prevent it from happening again. Then you communicate to a lot of internal stakeholders from the application, the remediation team.
Yeah.
Working on a fix.
And I guess that also would make you a better hacker as well, right? If you know how it's going to appear on the blue team side, you can adjust your payload or exploit accordingly.
Yeah, I mean, yes, if you really wanna enhance your offensive security skills, it goes hand in hand.
True. I guess that
you will know what is happening on the operating system, and then you'll know how to make it more complex or more advanced, I guess.
So can I ask you if you can explain in simple terms what monitoring is for people who don't have a background really in tech?
Yes. So monitoring is a way for an internal team at a company to be able to be always on the lookout and see if something malicious is happening or an anomaly is happening on the corporate systems or corporate machines. And so there's a lot of aspects to monitoring, and this could be including from setting up systems to always keep monitoring specific aspects of applications. This can also be on the form of performing activities like threat hunting. So you have certain techniques that attackers are using, and what you want to do is hunt for these things. So this is called threat hunting. And then you have an assumption that the attacker is already there in the network, so you want to go fetch them and see if they are there with your hypothesis. So this is one way of monitoring your environment. I mean, there's a lot of steps involved when you find something that is potentially could be malicious, because like I deal with these things on a daily basis, and we have 60% of the alerts sometimes can be false positives. So you have to really be good at controlling your nerves and actions based on what you have. So it's not like you have an alert, you have an incident. No, it's not how it works. Okay. You have to validate that this alert is actually, 100% true positive.
We have to react pretty quickly to that regardless, right?
Yes, of course, based on severity and priority and the application impacted and all that. So you have to have a specific matrix.
Oh, okay.
Of an incident.
What's the matrix?
Matrix is a way for the company to be able to not only categorize incidents and alerts, but also put them on a specific priority. So let's say we have 2 alerts coming. Well, one of them is involving like a test application in the test environment. And then you have another alert that is impacting a critical application and the, like payroll or payment system. You wouldn't categorize them the same, because obviously one of them is on test and the other is on production critical system. And so these things can play a part in categorizing your incidents priority. So you have to work faster on the one affecting the critical system, the one with a higher severity. Plenty of times I've also been asked a lot about networking. So apparently having network skills on, like generic network skills really help a lot on both domains. So
wait, would you say that for someone to get started in either domain, it's a good idea to start getting a good base regarding networks and how networks work and
yeah, for sure,
the OSI model?
It is definitely essential. You'll be a good incident responder and a good pen tester if you have the networking skills. but it's not really mandated. I mean, because you learn a lot during your experience, your career path, right? So it is not really essential to work, but it will give you a big boost if you already have it. So definitely you should learn that before going into these domains.
So before we finish, is there anything else that you could recommend to people who are potentially interested in either offensive security or blue teaming?
Yeah, definitely find out what gives you the most ambition, what kicks your gears. If you're afraid, like, okay, should I start on this or that? Just go ahead with anyone, and then you will learn, and then maybe you will already know what you want. Maybe you want to stay in that domain, you want to switch, but don't just make a big deal out of it. Just start with any of them, stay for 2 years, find your passion there. If you don't, go to the other side, because they are both really close to each other, but also at the same time it's not. So, but you always have to have the option to move around between these sides.
Do you recommend someone go through a regular computer science degree, or do you not specifically have to have a degree in computer science to start in that field?
You do not necessarily want to have a degree in computer science. If you have it, perfect. If you have developer background, that's also way better, in my opinion.
Okay.
But definitely, I mean, there's no mandatory certificate or education you should have. It's just the ambition, it's just the passion for this domain.
May I add that I don't have a degree in computer science. I don't have a degree at all, and I still have a job as well. So in the field. Yeah. So I'm definitely a proof that you don't have to go to uni, but if you want to, you should go to uni. Is there any certifications that you recommend, actually?
Certifications, it depends what you want to do. But like, if you're talking about what companies give the good certificates, I would definitely recommend offensive security.
So rather offensive than blue teaming certificates.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you have any certificates?
Oh yeah. I do have a couple of certificates. I started out with the EC Council certificates.
Okay.
Not really the most important ones, to be honest, but like it can give you a boost with the domain.
Okay.
Then I did my OSCP.
Okay. Yeah, that's a big one, right?
I think this is like also intermediate level.
Okay.
Still, then I moved to doing red teaming certificates like CRTP and CRTO.
Okay.
But then lately I've been in the SANS courses, especially for the forensics part. So I did GCFE, which is certificate from GIAC and SANS, of course. It's about forensics analyst.
So that is more on the blue team side then?
That is on the blue side.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was lacking that before joining MasterCard.
Oh, so you got that certificate after you joined your new... Okay. I also noticed that you post a bit some articles and some findings that you find on your own personal time, right? So you like to still do a bit of offensive security on your own time?
Oh, definitely. It's not a lost
bug bounty
skill.
Yeah, you do a lot of bug bounty.
If I have time, yes.
Yeah.
Definitely something I do on the side whenever I can. I focus more on Windows applications.
Okay.
I'm trying to go more into Unix systems. I do not want to do web applications because I know it's also repetitive.
Yes.
But yeah, Windows, how to break, the API calls.
Do you have a recommendation or a technique for someone to get started into that? Because I've heard a lot of people say you pick one type of vulnerability and then try to find it across multiple applications.
If you want to have a quick win, that is how you do it. You find one thing that you think is scaled, and then you spam it across several applications.
Which one is the one that you like to go for?
Well, you mean like a vulnerability or application? In the meantime, I'm trying to find privilege escalations on Windows.
Okay. So can you explain what that is quickly?
Yeah, it's a way to be able to gain the system level privileges on a Windows system from a non-privileged user.
Okay.
Yeah, so finding a way from a software installed to be able to escalate your privileges unintended to the highest, which can be an admin or the system user.
And do you have any other tips for people who are in the offensive security side but haven't really started bug bounty or people who might be interested into that? Because I know a lot of people that are into IT, into coding, but and very interested into cybersecurity, but they don't really know which field to go to or which steps to take to really get into that field. And I think they might think that they don't have the skill sets yet to apply to some jobs.
Yeah. So what I think is, don't be scared. Just go online and see a lot of write-ups. You have a lot of websites that do CTF competitions every now and then. And you have a great website called ctftimes.org. I don't know if that's...
I don't even know that, but
it's
check it
a
out.
website who like compiles a lot of CTFs. And then it has the ability to show you the write-ups of these teams competing. So you have that repository, that archive. You see how people solve machines and solve CTFs and challenges. And then you just learn, while you go. Every day, do that. Have your own notes, have your own documentations. And then you will find a way to compile these things and maybe start doing things your own. You have scripts, you have techniques that, trust me, like I've seen one issue that has been tackled with at least like 5 ways from different teams. I mean, it is crazy how different people, how people think different.
Yeah, there's many ways to do the same thing.
Yeah, you think there's only one way, but then people create stuff. Really, people are amazing. So yeah, I think this is the best way to learn. Document what you have. Always go back to your notes and upgrade them and update them.
Okay. Would you say that people need to be good at maths or sciences to work in the field of cybersecurity?
No.
Because I get that question a lot.
Only if you're into cryptography.
Okay. So at this stage, anyone, even with no background in math or in sciences...
Unless you want to count your bounties, sure. But otherwise, there's literally no need.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. I feel like you just need logic. And I think that a lot of people can have decent logic and you build it up as well. I think as like you come across different systems, your logic also builds up and you learn different things as you go.
There is one aspect that you should have, one it's not a skill, it's just a personality trait that you should have. Never give up. If you find an issue, if you have a blocker, just don't give up. Just try to think for a way, or like keep it in your back of your mind to be able to solve it. Mm-hmm. Just don't give up the first time. I mean, this is not a trait for a proper ethical hacker to solve challenges, right? And because I've seen a lot of people like face some issues and then, okay, I'm not going to do it again. And this is one of the why most of the people, like, for example, attempt the OSCP and then they just don't try it again. And my opinion, it's not about failing. It's about learning from what you failed.
Good. Okay, I think we've had quite a good conversation. And I think, we spoke about some interesting topics and things that could be interesting for viewers as well. So...
And luckily the puzzle wasn't solved.
Yeah, I mean, I think I won the puzzle.
You did.
Because I got a lot more, but it's not a competition.
Yeah, I got neighboring puzzles stuff, so
it's
that
okay.
Counts, right?
Yeah, sure, but I still won. All right, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've learned some interesting stuff. I was looking at the wrong camera, but I hope you've learned some interesting stuff. And leave some questions in the comments, and maybe we'll do a second video. But I intend to have other people in the cybersecurity field to talk about the various other departments within cybersecurity, other fields in cybersecurity I don't know very well. So I thought that it would be interesting for me to learn and for other people to learn as well.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much.
Good luck, everyone.
Good luck, everyone. All right. Bye.